What would it be like for you if you can develop greater mental resilience as an executive or professional that will give you the ability to think more clearly and stay calm when facing setbacks, both big and small, be more decisive and effective at work and at home, and to be able to bounce back more easily after setbacks, and therefore find it easier to achieve your personal and professional goals and be successful at what you do? Just think about that for a moment. What would that be like for you? I call this the bamboo effect because bamboo is an excellent symbol of resilience. Bamboo can withstand twice as much force bearing down on it than wood, brick, or concrete can. It can also withstand more stress while being stretched or bent before breaking than steel. That is why Bruce Lee said, "Notice that the stiffest tree is most easily cracked, while the bamboo survives by bending with the wind." Now imagine that you, as an executive or a professional, can become like the bamboo and have the same strength mentally and emotionally. There are two types of people when it comes to setbacks and adversity. Some succumb to the pressure, while others thrive despite their circumstances and the high-stress environment. The difference between the two is mental resilience, or what I call the bamboo effect. What is the one characteristic that research found to be the common denominator among successful executives and professionals? Decisiveness. Research indicates that they made decisions earlier, faster, and with greater conviction, and did so consistently. What is the biggest factor of why executives and professionals fail? It's simple. It's bad execution. And that boils down to a lack of decisiveness, follow through, and delivering on commitments. All three of these have to do with mental and emotional resilience, as you will see in this presentation. The good news, though, is that mental and emotional resilience can be learned and improved through practice. Hi, my name is Roux, Malan, and in the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you the exact same program that my clients and myself have been using to develop mental and emotional resilience and therefore create more personal and professional success for ourselves. I'm also going to share with you the single most toxic thought that you can have that will work against your success, and the 5 critical elements that is needed in a successful personal growth plan, as well as a proven 6-step system to develop the kind of mental and emotional resilience that will increase your success both at home and at work. Now, as you know, these are the exact mental and emotional resilience strategies that I used to overcome a huge setback in my life in 2003 and continues to use to bring me the success I have today. I also used these strategies to help others to overcome great difficulties too, and to go to the next level of success in their business and career. Now, the top categories of executives and professionals that I work with are people in executive positions, business owners, accountants, lawyers, and coaches. Here are the story of one of my clients. Andres came to me because he was facing both a personal and professional crisis after his retirement. He also complained of a high level of anxiety that has plagued him during all his life. I firstly gave him concrete steps to manage his anxiety. We also resolved both his personal and professional crisis by tackling it step by step. Eventually, he was so inspired by what he had learned that he started a new recruiting business at the age of 70. And here's another one of my clients, Janine, who came to me because she felt that all work, no play, make Jane a dull girl. She's a senior official in a provincial government department in education, and she was also approaching 50, and she wanted to do something significant to celebrate it. In working with me, Janine took up her passion for art again, and she also decided to fly in a hot air balloon on her birthday. She pulled it off without a hitch, with photographs to prove it. Even though she didn't expect the program to address other life issues, she testified that working through my mental and emotional resilience program, she gained the confidence that she will be able to face anything that come her way in the future. So these are the type of transformations that both myself and my clients were able to bring about when we developed our mental and emotional resilience. How exactly did we do it? It's simple. None of this would have happened if I didn't commit myself to mastering only one thing, to be able to take charge of my mental and emotional state and change it from negative to positive in virtually any situation. In other words, to become mentally and emotionally resilient. I let go of my old ways of being a victim, of making excuses, of not being accountable, and of not taking action. And because of this one shift, I experienced significant improvement in both my personal and professional life. What this means is that if you are an executive or someone in a professional career looking for a dependable system to develop mental resilience that will improve both your personal and professional life, and you are ready to implement it immediately, then you can rest assured that you will love what I will be sharing with you in the remainder of this training. The best about my mental and emotional resilience training program is that it's a program you can start to implement immediately. It's also a step-by-step program, and it's extremely practical and definitely not academic. We focus on practice, which brings us to the single most toxic thought that you as an executive or professional can have that will work against your success. These toxic thoughts are a mental pattern of repetitive worry and negativity. Because research conducted at the Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine indicated that a mental pattern of repetitive worry and negativity is one of the best predictors of future burnout and even health problems within a year. Now let's look at two different types of executives and professionals. First, there are those who are indecisive and who make decisions too little and too late. And then there are the executives and professionals who have what I call decision tree success. They make decisions earlier, faster, and with greater conviction, and do so consistently, so that they move faster through the branches of the decision tree to get to a definitive result, even when there's ambiguity, incomplete information, or they find themselves in unfamiliar territory. These professionals and executives understand that a wrong decision is often better than no decision at all. And they know they can't wait for perfect information. So what is the difference between the two? Executives and professionals with what I call decision tree success, according to research, are 12 times more likely to be high-performing individuals, while indecisive executives and professionals create bottlenecks, frustrated teams, which stalls the forward movement of the business and ultimately their own career. What sets decision tree success executives and professionals apart from indecisive ones is their level of mental resilience and emotional intelligence. Or to put it more simply, they have both backbone and heart, which the indecisive ones don't have. This provides them with the right mental focus as well as emotional presence, which supports their personal, interpersonal, and professional success. So let me tell you a quick story to illustrate what I mean by right mental focus. And the story is about the world-renowned life coach and speaker, Anthony Robbins. I read as Anthony Robbins tells the story himself in his book, The Giant Within. He says, This was one of the first lessons that I learned when I started racing school. The instructors put me in what's called a skid car, an automobile that has a computer built into it with hydraulic lifts that can pull any wheel off the ground on a moment's signal from the instructor. The number one fundamental they teach in driving is focus on where you want to go, not on what you fear. And when the instructors first explained this to me, I nodded my head and thought, of course, I know all of this. After all, I teach this stuff. My first time out on the road, I was screaming along, and all of a sudden, unbeknownst to me, they pushed the button. I started to skid out of control. Where do you think my eyes went? You bet, right at the wall. In the final seconds, I was terrified because I knew I was going to hit it. The instructor grabbed my head and yanked it to the left, forcing me to look in the direction I needed to go. We kept on skidding, and I knew we were going to crash, but I was forced to look only in the direction I wanted to go. And sure enough, as I looked in that direction, I couldn't help but turn the wheel accordingly. I caught on at the last moment and we pulled out. You can imagine my relief. So the lesson is, focus on where you want to go and not on what you fear. So right now, if you are serious about having the right mental focus that will give you the key to both professional and personal success, namely mental and emotional resilience, or the bamboo effect, then it will be in your best interest to listen to what I will be sharing with you next. Why? While it's the opposite of what you have been taught to believe about building a successful career as a professional or an executive. Today, most executives and professionals are trying to build their career through their smarts, or creating a big vision, or developing a good strategy. As important as those are, it's a flawed approach. Because most stumble because of one simple yet fatal shortcoming: bad execution, which means not getting things done, being indecisive, and not delivering on their commitments. They put the cart before the horse because they try to move ahead through vision and strategy, but in the process, forget the importance of good execution. Of course, this is not the only reason for failure, but it is the biggest single factor. This is what I mean by this. They focus on vision statements, on empowerment, on leadership, and on new initiatives. So they tend to focus on process continuously instead of focusing on getting things done, on keeping track of assignments, and delivering on their commitments, as well as addressing delivery problems or challenges. They fail to focus on being decisive and to take the necessary action that brings success. Instead, they spend the bulk of their time on process-oriented activities. What they need is a personal development program that will help them gain the mental and emotional strength that will help them to execute better. They need to put the horse in front of the cart again. To do so, decisive executives and professionals need to make personal development a high priority. And therefore, it's important to understand what is the most important in personal development. Firstly, you must have a personal development program or plan. Now, a good personal development plan has 5 critical elements, namely vision. You need to know who you wish to become as a result of your personal development. Second, you must also know the area you wish to focus on in terms of your personal development. And then you need to set goals to develop that particular area in your life. You also need to be clear on which practices you will use to reach those goals. And lastly, you need to schedule time to do those practices. Secondly, what is important in personal growth is for you to apply your personal development plan on a daily basis. The importance of this is underlined by a survey of 267 executives of top Fortune 500 companies such as American Express, Boeing, BP, Google, and DHL, which indicated that executives spend 30 minutes per day on personal growth, or at least 30 minutes per day. Here we can take a lesson from the successful Benjamin Franklin, scientist, inventor, and principal architect of the United States Declaration of Independence and its Constitution. Benjamin Franklin had a personal plan of conduct because when he was 20 years old, he crossed the Atlantic from England back to Philadelphia. And during this 80-day journey, he used the time to develop his personal plan of conduct. His plan consisted of 13 virtues, and he committed himself to focus on one virtue per week. At the end of the 13th week, he would start the process all over again, thus cycling through the plan 4 times a year. In this way, Benjamin Franklin probably became the first self-improvement expert. In contrast, unsuccessful and indecisive executives and professionals are too busy to even use 30 minutes a day on personal development, or they do it in a random way. So one of the reasons executives and other professionals actively seek me out is that they don't have the personal and professional success they desire yet. So because of that, let me ask you this. Are you where you want to be personally and professionally yet? And if your answer to that question is no, how would you answer these next questions? Firstly, do you have a personal growth plan? And secondly, how many minutes do you spend on personal growth per day? Something I learned early on as a personal growth coach is there are hundreds of different ways to grow personally and professionally. However, what I have found is that the 2 activities that really brings the biggest result in terms of personal growth is, firstly, mental resilience, and secondly, emotional intelligence. It is often these 2 that make the difference between giving up and succumbing to setbacks and adversity, and the ability to overcome them to become successful. And all this leads us to the mental and emotional resilience training program that can help you to become more decisive and more successful starting today. So what does the program exactly look like? Well, it starts first with helping you to craft your own personal growth plan, which will help you to answer questions such as, what is my vision? What will be my area of focus? What will be my personal development goals? And what will be the practices I follow to reach these goals? And when will I schedule time for it? Next, using Benjamin Franklin's system as a template, we will help you to focus on personal growth in a 21-week cycle of 30 minutes per day. And thirdly, we will also help you with the content of the cycle using the 6 vital step system to develop mental and emotional resilience. So let's look briefly at the 6 vital steps to develop mental and emotional resilience that are such an important part of our mental and emotional resilience training program. The first step is a positive mental attitude, or PMA, where you will learn in detail how to manage your mental and emotional state. The second step is finding your true north, where you will learn how to be clear on what is important to you. The third step then is decisiveness, where you will learn how to make decisions without regret. And then in the fourth step, you will learn to fail forward. And here you will learn how to frame failure in such a way that it doesn't stall your progress. The fifth step is to become self-aware, where you will learn more about your needs, your strengths, and your shadow side, that side which you hide from both yourself and others. The last step is to know how to both give and receive support from others. Now, if you follow this system, you will find that you will significantly increase your mental and emotional resilience so that you find it easier to manage your own mental and emotional state and consequently are able to make decisions faster. And that will lead to more success in both your professional and personal life. And I refer to this process as finding your way out of the personal development maze. Now, to find your way out of the maze of personal development, you will have to have these three elements in perfect alignment. First, you will have to have a personal growth plan, as well as an implementation plan that aligns with the 6-step system to practice mental and emotional resilience in real life. As a result of my clients implementing these three modules of my program, they solve some of the most pressing personal and professional challenges. Why? Well, it's because this program allows my clients to follow a disciplined system of personal development that teaches them to practice the most important facets of personal development, namely mental resilience and emotional intelligence. Here is a story of another one of my clients, Sonia. She came to me because she got laid off during the downturn of the American economy. At this point, she felt devastated, undervalued, and without direction. In working with me, I helped her to identify her fears for the future as well as her own insecurities. Once she overcame those, she took the action steps needed and landed a better position in an industry she always dreamt of. And here is Gary. Gary came to me deeply unhappy and depressed. His wife encouraged him to seek out my help. He was bullied by a superior, which made life at work almost unbearable. During our sessions, Gary took stock of the situation and worked towards setting boundaries between his work and personal life. He also practiced to become more decisive and clear about what he wants. Due to his courageous actions, things at work turned around to the point that he was praised for his leadership skills. The difference that this system made for my clients can be summarized as follows. They gained greater confidence in themselves and their ability to cope with adversity. They also learned to be more decisive and therefore learned to move stuck situations to a conclusion much faster. And this helped them to reach their personal and professional goals much faster in turn. And in the long run, that meant that they were able to unlock the potential that was lying dormant within themselves. Let me remind you again of the three things that you have to align to achieve these results. Firstly, you need to have a personal growth plan. Secondly, you need an implementation plan. And thirdly, you need the 6-step system for personal resilience. Solving our personal and professional challenges are often like walking through a maze. Often we jump into it and walk around and hope that we will find our way out. Here is the problem with this approach. When it comes to finding your way out of a maze, there are so many different variations, and many of these variations lead to dead ends except for one. We often see the maze and think, I can easily do this on my own, and jump right in to find the exit. And after several months and even years of walking around and feeling like we are making progress, we come to the realization that some avenues helped us to make some progress, while others were total dead ends, and we have not been able to exit to the other side yet. So we resolve to just try harder, but we just find ourselves in more dead ends and we make very slow progress. So then we start to wonder how it is that something so simple takes us so long to figure out. We might come to the conclusion that we are just not trying hard enough, so we pick ourselves up again to find our way out of the maze. And after several more tries, we still don't find the exit. We did all we can to solve it, but we have very little results to show for it. So we face the reality of giving up and even might start beating ourselves up about it. But there is a smarter way to approach the maze, and this is the approach that the decision tree success executives and professionals take that give them the edge of the bamboo effect. it also turns out to be a much easier way. And this is to find someone who has spent years to teach personal growth and understand the key elements of mental resilience and emotional intelligence, and also understand the mistakes one can make in practice. The smart way, of course, is to learn from them so that you can find your way out and get the results that you want in your personal and professional life. And as you are aware, this is what I'm doing full-time as a personal growth coach and specialist pastoral counselor. Now, let me remind you what is included in our mental and emotional resilience training program. Firstly, you will develop a personal growth plan based on a template. And then you will do a 21-day cycle of 30 minutes per day of practice based on the 6 vital step system to develop mental and emotional resilience. And in these 6 vital steps, you will learn how to develop a positive mental attitude, or PMA, find your true north, be more decisive, learn how to fail forward, and how to become more self-aware. And lastly, how to make sure that you have the support of others that you need. Now, sooner or later, you will ask, how can I create a personal development plan that will increase my mental resilience and emotional intelligence, and therefore bring me a new level of success in both my personal and professional life? Well, first I have to warn you, our mental and emotional resilience training program isn't for everyone. Here's who it's for. This program is only for executives and professionals who are keen to develop their own mental resilience and emotional intelligence, increase their level of personal and professional success, increase their capacity to perform well in challenging circumstances, and develop the ability to reinvent themselves when circumstances change. So right now, you probably wonder what my intent was in putting together this training video for you. And it's a good thing for you to wonder. You see, right now, I'm looking for a few more of my dream clients who are interested in implementing my mental and emotional resilience program in order to reach their next level of personal and professional success. And because of this, for a limited time, I would like to work with you in a tailored mental and emotional resilience strategy session. If and only if you fit the following description. You are someone who is an executive or a professional, like an accountant, a lawyer, or a coach, who would like to increase your mental resilience and emotional intelligence, because you know that mental resilience and emotional intelligence can significantly increase your chances to be successful in both your professional and personal life. And you are willing to develop the necessary clarity and self-awareness needed. You're also willing to commit yourself without hesitation to the daily work that is required. So here is how this will work. We will focus on a specific and individually tailored strategy and execution plan to help you solve the 3 biggest problems that most executives and professionals face when it comes to their personal development. Firstly, they don't have a personal development plan. And secondly, they don't have time. And lastly, they don't have a systematic approach. Our mental and emotional resilience training program solves these problems because you will create your own personal growth plan that you will then work on for 30 minutes per day using our 6-step system for developing mental and emotional resilience. And in case you are wondering, this mental and emotional resilience strategy session will take around 45 minutes. And you will be speaking to me personally. I will help you to identify the resources for mental and emotional resilience that you already have, and help you to develop a strategy to dramatically increase your personal resilience that will in turn increase your ability to succeed both personally and professionally. I will also suggest an execution strategy for your personal growth plan. So you might have realized by now that I'm very picky about whom I speak with. I've got a strict yet reasonable set of criteria that needs to be met in order for us to proceed. So this mental and emotional resilience strategy session is for you if you are in an executive position or in a professional career or in between positions with at least a number of years of experience. You are ideally between 40 or 60 years old, and if you are someone for whom personal development has always been a high priority, and you are also willing to make a significant investment in yourself and your personal development, and you are willing to approach it with an open mind and a willingness to learn. You must also be willing to commit to follow through on the assignments in the program. This strategy session is not for you if you are not interested in personal development. If you are someone who likes to complain and make excuses, or if you are not prepared to do the work and to get results, if you are not willing to learn from others and not willing to change. It's also not for you if you are not in a position to start a personal growth program immediately. Now, what most people find is that working with me is not cheap. And if cheap is what you are looking for, then I'm definitely not the right person for you. And the reason why working with me is not cheap is because most of the clients who work with me find dramatic increases in their satisfaction in life, an increase in their mental and emotional resilience in the face of life's ups and downs, and they also solve some of their most pressing personal and professional challenges. Now, these items are in fact priceless. Most of my clients also increase their earning potential because of their newfound confidence. So here is something you need to pay close attention to. Knowing that we are a good fit is crucial to me because I like to get all my clients results and work with them for the long term. And to do that, I need to give them some gains early on. And the truth is that there are some people I can't help. And if that is the case, I will be 100% upfront with you and possibly refer you to someone else. I only look for people who are good fits and that I'm certain that I can get results for. So how would you go about scheduling one of these personal, mental and emotional resilience strategy sessions with me? Well, the first step is to click on the button that is below this video, and the second step is to fill out an application form. Now, this application process is necessary to determine two things. First, that I can help you and that I am the best person to help you to achieve these results. And second is to determine whether you are ready to go to the next level in your personal growth and take the action that is required to do so. And after I've received your application, you will be able to schedule a time with me to conduct your strategy session. And this is where we really start to work together to figure out what you want and how to get there in a systematic step-by-step way. At the end of the call, one of two things will happen. You will either be a fit, and I'll offer you an invitation to work with me as one of my clients. If it's not a good fit, that's totally okay, and there will be no hard feelings or obligations or anything like that. Either way, you will receive one of the most valuable strategy sessions and will walk away with brand new insights as to where you are right now in terms of mental and emotional resilience and what is holding you back from claiming the resilience that I call the bamboo effect. Now, that is together with the exact next steps you will have to take to set your foot on the path to greater mental and emotional resilience. This will likely be the most valuable 45 minutes that you have invested in your personal growth this year. So go ahead, click on the link that is below this video to request your application. Now, sooner or later, you will realize that I have tens of scores of executives and other professionals that apply for one of these strategy sessions with me within the last 30 days alone. What this means is that this opportunity is extremely limited because of the intense one-on-one time needed in order to provide you with the results. And as I said before, I can only work with clients with whom I know without a shadow of a doubt that I can get results for them in terms of the mental and emotional resilience they need to apply to solve their most pressing personal and professional challenges. And as you have realized by now, there is a very large demand for personal one-on-one help from my team and I, and what I offer you is unprecedented. Now, something to note is that I only take a certain number of clients per month, and many of those spots are likely to be filled already. But I am looking to fill those spots that are left as quickly as possible. So with that being said, please understand that this window of opportunity won't be available for long, and as you have learned in this video, it is those who are able to be decisive and act quickly that are the most likely to get results and outperform everyone else. So right now, if you are still watching this video and you feel that this is right for you, go ahead and click on the button below and see if you qualify, and then follow the instructions on the next page. So thank you for watching, and I'm looking forward to connect with you in this strategy session.